Oh, that's Pentatonics, You Make My Dreams, and that was the theme from a movie, and all great fun, and if that doesn't get your toes tapping on a morning like this, I don't know what will. Okay, I said we're going to kick off our chat and our interview this morning straight away, and let's launch into it. A couple of months ago, I was lucky enough to see and hear three amazing young women performing live, and their names are Scarlett, Rubina and Sophia, and they form an amazing trio. Funnily enough, there is three of them, and they do form an amazing trio. And they're called the Stamps. I was immediately blown away with their beautiful voices and their blended harmonies, and they're straight out. I just call it their authenticity and their connection to their songs. Doing a couple of covers, but mostly performing their own material. Now, even though they've only been together as a group since 2020, they've already notched up a very impressive resume of performances around Perth and the southwest. Now, my guests today are the Stamps, and we're going to mix things up with some chatting and a few of their songs. They're all sitting here, microphones ready, guitars ready, and So let's get into it. Scarlett, Rubina, and Sophia, welcome today. It's great you could join us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's a bit of an early start. I know we were just talking, but that's okay. Now, I've only given you a very brief introduction because I figured we'd get in and talk about how the Stamps came to form and what you've been up to. So I guess tell me, how did the Stamps come about?
Well, a bit of a long story.
Now hang on, we'll get the voices sorted out here. Yeah. Scarlett,
I'm Scarlett.
You're Scarlett?
Yeah. I'm Sophia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Rubina.
Rubina. Now I don't know whether you can tell those voices apart, but
well, we've got one accent. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
So Scarlett, you fired away. How did the Stamps get together?
So it all started. So when I was 15, I went on an exchange to Australia from Canada, and I went to Fremantle College just for a short term, and I met Sophia and Rubina there, and I was in the music program, and I really loved it. And then I went back to Canada, and we moved back for a while, and then we moved back to Australia again. And when my family got back to Australia, I was put back again in Fremantle College music program, and that was the year we had to choose bands. We were going to go to Nana Music Festival as a
on tour.
Yeah, on tour. And so we decided, actually it was Rubina's idea.
It was. Yes, Ruby. She's the mastermind behind it all.
Yeah, but Rubina basically messaged me and was like, "Oh, do you want to do some songs for Nana if we can just do like a 3-piece kind of thing?" And that's kind of where it was born, I guess.
Yeah, it stuck. The Stamps, it stuck. That's what we like to say.
That's so cool. So this was part of a music program.
Yes.
But so you had similarities in musical tastes, or was it just sort of let's have a crack, or how did it?
What do you think? Yeah, I reckon so. We all have very different music tastes, but when we came together, it went down more of the folk sort of genre.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like we were all singers in the music program, and it was just kind of like, because usually all the bands just have one singer or two singers. Right. But we were like, why don't we just all have a band that's just singers? Yeah. Like, why not? And then we focused on the harmonies, and that's our thing. The harmonies are the thing.
Oh, absolutely. I would echo that, having heard you. So how would you describe your style of music?
Probably like folk, indie folk.
Singer-songwriter.
Yeah. Acoustic
indie folk.
Yeah.
Actually, I reckon that grasps the lot of it.
Okay.
So now, even though you've only been together for a short while, I know, as I said before, you've got an impressive resume of performances and gigs, and I was lucky enough to see you live at one of those. tell us more about where you've performed and what you've done. You said Nanup, what was that? Nanup 2020 was your first soiree?
That was like our first debut out on the scene. Yeah. Like we'd done like music showcases at school, but no actual gigs. We went on tour with our school, and that was to Nanup. That's how we got the gig.
Yep.
And we were playing on this solar stage that our teacher had made.
A solar stage?
A solar
What's
stage.
That?
It's made from, shout out to Mr. Golan. Mr. Golan. So Mr. Golan is the music teacher at Fremantle College.
Mr. Golan, if you're listening, your work is done.
Yeah. He came up with the concept of a solar stage, and it's a stage that's completely powered by the sun, like by solar power.
Okay.
And you hook it onto like a truck or something and you drive it down.
Yeah, it was like a trailer.
Right, okay.
And so we parked it in the food court at Nanup, and we would play to people who were eating
So you
food.
don't need any external power?
No, except I think it was raining on one of the days, so they had to end up hooking up. But we don't talk about
You had to get hamsters and treadmills,
treadmills
or something like that.
Yeah, all solar powered, but I think there is a backup.
So hey, look, that's
things happen.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So Nanup 2020, and we'll probably talk more about that in a moment. But where else? You've done lots of other gigs.
We've played Nanga Music Festival. Yeah. We love Nanga. That was last year.
And we're going back this year.
Yeah, we're going back
When's
this
that?
year.
October
the 7th to the 9th, I think.
Yeah.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
And we were set to play Fairbridge and Nanup this year.
Nanup, yeah.
But they were both cancelled, which is
a shame.
COVID's cut a swathe through live music, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, we played Fremantle Arts Centre recently.
Yeah, that was
cool.
Which is
probably a highlight for me.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. And at Wanneroo, that's where I saw you.
Yes, Wanneroo Folk Club. We've played Mundaring Folk Club as well.
Yep.
Where else? We've Mojo's.
Yeah, we've played a few just live venues around Freo, things like that.
Well, Mojo's is an icon
for
local live music, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah, that's a great spot. Although I haven't been there for a while. COVID hit them as well. They shut down and all sorts of stuff, didn't they? So let's go back to Nanup in 2020. Now, I'll just point out to our listeners, all three of you are now only just 18, is that right?
Yeah.
So I've got 3 18-year-old young women here who are how long out of school? 12 months out of school? Not even
November.
Oh, you finished
November. Last year.
The end of last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So and you did Nanup 2020. So would that have been year 11?
Yeah, it was.
Tell me how you felt. How many? How big was the audience? What was the setting?
It was such I feel like it was a dream kind of. Honestly, and the preparation before Nanup, our teacher was like, you need to have at least 10 songs to be able to play. And we had never played any songs, so we were mad rushing, practicing every day.
Yeah.
And I think because we did all that preparation, it felt so good when it paid off, kind of. We felt prepared to play.
Yeah.
And then when we did play, it was really, really fun. Yeah, and people really listened.
Yeah, especially there were other artists there that we were playing alongside, and it was so cool to be able to know that we were playing at Nanup. It was just crazy. It was crazy. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's a real buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting you talk about that preparedness because, being involved in singing and music and performing myself a little bit, if you're prepared and you go on stage, you've got butterflies in your tummy, but the first 2 or 3 bars that you sing and you get out and you feel... you feel a wave of good vibes come from the audience and stuff like that. And you just think, I got this. And you can enjoy it. Is that what you've just described? How did the audience respond after you finished your first song?
They responded so well.
Yeah.
They were really happy.
Everyone was really welcoming.
Yeah.
And we also had the rest of the music program watching us as well. Yeah. So we had all of our friends, all of our teachers watching us. So it was very heartwarming to see all of them watching and listening and loving it.
Yeah. I remember on the last performance we had, one of my it was a Sunday night or something. Like it was the last of the weekend shows. And we got off stage, and I was crying, and I think Sophia was crying
so
too.
emotional.
And one of our teachers came up and she was crying and giving us a hug, and it was just like a rush. Like that whole weekend was exhausting, but it was really, really like enjoyable.
Well, if you're doing your job, you're leaving it all on the stage.
Yeah.
You're not leaving anything in the tank, are you?
Yeah.
So.
We actually have a funny story from Nanup. Talking about preparedness, it reminded me of this story where actually two things happened. The first thing that happened was we were waiting to go on stage. We were like, the band before us was on, and I was like, guys, I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm just going to nip off to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I had to go nip off to the bathroom. I give my guitar to Scarlett, and then I come back, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, what's wrong? What happened? And she shows me my guitar.
Chip,
and she dropped it on the floor.
Oh no!
There you go. There's that'll
that's your Nana.
It's not too bad
chip.
at all. Yeah.
That's okay.
It's actually so fine.
I was crying.
She was crying, and I was like, it's fine. Like it's really okay. I think she was just really exhausted. And then what happened after that was a grasshopper somehow jumped into my guitar like sound hole. And it was like 5 minutes before we had to go on stage. And we're like, what are we going to do? Literally, what are we going to do? So we're like sitting behind the stage with like twigs and leaves and sticks, like trying to scoop out this grasshopper. And I don't even know where it went. I think we had to end up putting tape over the top because there was like heaps of feedback.
Yeah, because I could just imagine you got a grasshopper in there. You'd be singing away beautifully and all you'd hear is this.
Yeah, tapping. Yeah.
As the grasshopper's bouncing around the sound box.
And we never saw it leave, so it could still be in there. We don't know.
Ah, right. Oh, well, I can't smell anything. And it's been 2 years.
It's been a while.
You're all
I think we're okay. Yeah,
that's certainly a memorable gig. And are there any other groups that played out of your music program in that joined you at Nanup in 2020 that are still going or anything like that?
Yeah.
Junk, they formed as well, kind of around the same time as us.
Yeah.
They're doing.
What's their style?
Jazz funk. Junk is jazz funk. Yeah, they're very smart. Yeah,
there's like 9 of them.
It's like a big band. They've got like a brass section.
They've got horns.
Yeah, so sick. They're so
sax
cool.
Oh wow, they'd be cool. Where do they play?
They've actually done quite a few gigs. They've played. I think the last gig they did was at 459. Next to the Rosemount Hotel. They play at YMCA HQ a lot, like for the youth, all ages gigs. I can't think of anywhere else.
Well, if anyone from Junk is listening today,
cool.
big shout out.
Yeah,
you sound
shout out to
cool.
Junk.
I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Definitely, they're awesome.
For that group, that's for sure.
And also Our Demise, but they didn't play it, but a lot of people in their band. Our Demise, they're like
heavy metal.
Yeah,
they're sick.
Yeah, and so they didn't play at Nanup with us, but a lot of people in that group.
I think they formed a bit later.
Later.
Yeah, they were cool. It was so funny at Nanup because you'd have like a nice and soft folk trio playing, and then next would be a heavy metal
thrash.
Yeah, I think they had to finish their set early one time because they were overpowering one of the main stages. So that was
really?
Archie Roach.
It
was
Archie
Roach.
Okay.
And
upstaging.
And they were like, you need to get off the stage, you're too loud.
Yeah.
And we can't hear Archie Roach.
Oh, that's funny. Oh dear. Now, so you've done a whole bunch of gigs and plenty of live music and stuff like that, but also you've come to the notice of Triple J and their initiative called Unearthed. Now it's all about discovering and sharing, as they call it, the best new talent in Australia. Now the Unearthed initiative has launched the career of thousands of artists, and in 2021, so that obviously only last year, you guys, the Stamps, made it into the Triple J Unearthed list and were showcased in the top 10 out of 1,400 submissions. Ladies, that is a big feather in your cap. That's an amazing achievement. I guess tell us more about that. What inspired you to put your submission in, and how does the process work?
Well, what we got there was there was a competition, like the Triple J Unearthed High competition, in which they, chose, I think it was like 5 finalists.
And they're all high schoolers, so you're applying.
So we put our stuff in for that, and we didn't actually make the 5 finalists, but what they had was a yearbook,
like special mention type thing.
Kind of thing. Yeah. So we won the yearbook award. It was. So the song that we won it for was called "Crying in the Chemist."
Yes,
and
that's a great song. I've listened to it a few times.
Thanks, that's Scarlett. And
who wrote that? Sorry,
Scarlett. Scarlett wrote that. Such a good song. Well
done.
Yeah. The award name that they awarded us was the Diabetic Friendly Jelly Bean Award for track most suited to your trip to the chemist.
Yes.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Very specific.
Very specific.
Only we could win that.
Yeah, I think we only met the criteria for that one.
Yeah. But that was really cool. We just woke up one day and it was on Instagram.
I remember we were in the music program at school, and I don't know how we were allowed to, but we went outside because we were getting all these mentions and tags and things on Instagram and all that stuff. Yeah. And I remember us looking at our phone and we see our faces on the Triple J Unearthed Instagram, and we were jumping up and down in the car park.
How awesome would that have been?
It was the funniest thing. And it was 8:30 in the morning. Class had just started.
Did they all think you'd gone complete stark raving mad?
Yeah, I think people thought we'd gone nuts. But but that was cool.
No.
But no, they've offered us quite a bit of opportunities, which is really good.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Yeah, we recently did a creative kind of recording session thing with Methyl Ethel.
Yes.
Through Triple J, which was actually really recent. And
they're fantastic.
So he's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So awesome.
It's really interesting. You ladies here are 18. I have 2 kids, 18 and 16, and they've really got me into their music. So that indie stuff, and you talk about Methyl Ethel and Lime Cordiale and Spacey Jane and San Cisco and all of those groups. I love them. I love that music. It's fantastic. Awesome. And the stuff that you do is a little bit different in that it's a little bit more harmony and a little bit more folk, but you're all just up there, and it is fantastic. So. What other opportunities has Triple J opened up for you?
Those are probably the 2 main ones.
They're the big ones?
Yeah. And I think we've just... I can't think. I feel like there's something else that we're forgetting.
Well, they've featured us quite a bit. They put us on... They kind of made a post about... They did the yearbook.
Yeah, that's true.
They did the post about... They were just watch out for these girls or whatever on the Instagram kind of thing.
Just, really cool stuff for exposure.
Yeah.
Now, some of your stuff is on Spotify, but also on YouTube and on Triple J and everything like that. Have you tracked any, spikes in hits or anything like that, or you just want to make your music and go with the flow?
I don't think we can even see Triple J.
No, you probably
not really.
We just release it and just hope for the best.
Like true musicians. So. Look, really, in a short space of time, you've really achieved a lot. Even though we've only been chatting for a few minutes, I'm sure our listeners would like to hear a song. You're all set up here. Now, we're going to muck around a little bit with our microphones, and I'm going to hand my microphone over and all of that sort of stuff. So our listeners will probably hear some rustling and bumping. But what are you going to play for us first today?
We're going to play a song called Open Hand, and it's a pretty new song in our set, and it was written, I wrote it. And that's all I have to say.
What was your inspiration for the song?
This song is kind of about, you tell from the lyrics of the chorus, but it's kind of like when you find yourself in situations where the same thing just keeps happening over and over again, and you just kind of have to take a step back and be like, I need to stop running in circles and figure everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
And it's called
Open Hand.
Open Hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hand over to Scarlett, Sophia, and Rubina. They are the Stamps and Open Hand. So there'll be a few bumps and jumps, and they'll play their great music for you.
Perfect.
Okay. Hand those over.
Thank you.
Bring that down.
Cool. Bumps and jumps.
Set my levels. Okay.
All right. This is open hand.
Breathing, give me time. Take me where the flowers grow, and I don't mind if they move real slow. Then freeze this moment in time, so I can come back for the times that I find myself running in circles now, like picking up sand with an open hand. I'll keep you near, 'cause I know you won't see me picking up sand with an open hand. Keep it all wrapped up inside. You've done everything that's right. I'm not looking to make a change, 'cause you've got power and you've got light. You've done everything that's right. Looking for it all will make a change. Looking for it all will make you find myself running in circles now, like picking up sand with an open hand. I'll keep you near, 'cause I know you won't see me picking up sand with an open hand. So forgive me if I come across a little bit rude. I don't deal with this often. I got nothing to use. So forgive me if I find it all a little bit strange. Do you do this often? Doesn't it make your heart? Doesn't it make your heart ache? Doesn't it make your heart? Doesn't it make your heart? Doesn't it make your heart ache? Doesn't it make your heart? Doesn't it make your heart? Doesn't it make your heart ache? Doesn't it make your heart ache? Doesn't it make your heart ache? 'Cause I find myself running in circles now, like picking up sand with an open hand. I'll keep you near, 'cause I know you won't see me picking up sand with an open hand. 'Cause I find myself running in circles now, like picking up sand with an open hand.
Thank you.
Guys, that was amazing.
Thank you.
How can you sound that good at this time of the morning?
Thanks.
I'm normally croaking and grunting and groaning. And
We
whatever.
definitely were doing some warm-ups on the way here in the car. We had to turn the radio down so we could do our warm-up.
That's funny, going to gigs in the car and warming up.
Yeah.
And do you ever stop at the lights and the people will be looking in their rearview mirrors or something like that, going, "What?"
They probably are.
Or they think
Yeah.
you're actually abusing them or something, and you go, "No, I'm not. I'm just singing." You know.
Probably. That's probably happened.
But that was just beautiful, open
Thank you.
hand, and I really appreciate you bringing that to us. And we've got more to come. I want to find out a bit more about each of you as an individual. So I'm going to pick on Scarlett first.
Hey.
You already said a little bit in the intro about jumping in between Canada and Australia and stuff like that. Now, your folks are Canadian?
My dad is Canadian.
Your dad's Canadian.
And my mum is Australian.
Right,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
from
that would explain the Canadian-Australian relay and the baton change 15 other times.
Definitely.
But tell me more. We'll start with Scarlett, but Sophia and Rabina, you won't get off. Tell me about your journey and your life and your music and what inspires you.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, my auntie and uncle came and visited us in Canada. Yeah, I'm from Toronto originally.
Toronto. Yeah, Toronto.
Who else
Yeah.
does that?
True Canadian, Toronto. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Toronto, and my auntie and uncle came and visited us, and they're from like Beaconsfield,
Yeah.
Frio, and they just came for a visit. I think they were doing my uncle was doing some music related stuff, and they visited us, and I loved having them around so much. And my mom was actually the one who was like, maybe you should do an exchange in Australia.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a great idea. So I moved when I was 15, 2019, to Beaconsfield, lived with them for 4 months. And that's when I first started actually writing songs. Yeah.
Right.
Because I was very, very inspired by Australia. And that's when I met Sophia. And she was, she went to Fairbridge. We all went to Fairbridge.
Yeah.
And Ruby, did you go to Fairbridge? Right there.
You were the year after.
Yeah. But Sophia won Fairbridge Quest that year. And which is like
As a
songwriting.
solo?
The song,
As
yeah,
solo.
All right.
yeah.
Yep.
This was before the stamps existed.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I was very inspired by Sophia as well. And I was like, I'm older than her, so I should be able to do
by
that
like
too.
3 months.
Well, 3 months at 15 is a long time, isn't it?
Exactly. So I actually wrote my first real song kind of the weekend after. And that song was called Fremantle.
I've heard that.
That's a good
That's
one.
on your that's on your CD,
yeah,
isn't it?
So after my exchange, I went back to Canada and I had a lot of songs from the exchange and I recorded them with Chris Brown in Wolf Island, which is like another little small town.
I've had that
Canada.
CD playing in my car
It's so good.
because I bought it the night I came and saw the stamps,
Yeah.
and you've only just released a single as the stamps.
Yeah.
But Scarlett, you had a CD, so I stumped up the princely sum of what, $10 for that.
$10, yeah.
And I tell you what, it's probably the best $10 I've spent in a long time. And we're getting a bit off the track here, but I had a really crappy meeting I had to go to with my business a week or two ago, and on the way there, I put your CD on in the car, and I thought, because I just need a beautiful
calm
voice,
down.
I just need to calm down, I need to focus, and it did it. But Fremantle stood out as a great song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So okay, so you've done the Canada Australia shuffle, and
Yeah.
so then what? Mum and Dad decided to move here, or how did it all work?
What happened was while I was during the 4 months I was here by myself, we were kind of planning already like a holiday because all of our extended family is here. So my parents and my little brother came up down
around,
came down to Australia and visited, and kind of when they were there for like 6 weeks. I was like, can we move here? And then also our relatives kind of called us back as well because it's been a while, like 20 years they've lived in Canada. Yeah. So they were kind of like, maybe it's time to come back to your family. So we went back to Canada for 6 months and then came back here again. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I was writing songs throughout the whole process. So a lot of the earlier songs that I wrote I'm acting like I'm like 45, but my earlier stuff.
So when you were 3, right, yeah.
It's very much, it's pretty angsty. Not angsty, but you can definitely tell like what I was feeling at the time.
Yeah. Oh, look, isn't that what music's about?
Yeah, it was a good way of
you don't have to be a 15-year-old girl to feel angst and write music, do you? Or poetry or something like that. You know, you just look at 95% of our popular music is all about feelings and, you know, getting dumped or wanting someone you can't have or those, I don't know, those conflicted types of feelings. Yeah. So, Rubina, you don't get off easily. You're the quiet one sitting over there. Tell me about you.
Well, I was in the music program that Sophia and Scarlett joined later on my whole years of schooling, and that's kind of how I got into music. And I think I don't songwrite myself, but hopefully I will.
We've been trying to pressure her, but
yeah, I haven't found it yet, but
you'll find
maybe
it.
Maybe
if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. Yeah. I'm quite sure.
I don't really know. I've been definitely more inspired with jazz sort of stuff growing up.
Yeah.
So this change was actually really cool. I liked it a lot. I didn't know much about folk music before I went into this, but it just really worked. And working on the harmonies has been really great for my voice. I think it's improved quite a lot in the last few years.
Harmony gets your ear in, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Are your family were into jazz or anything like that? Is listening to a lot of jazz, or you just like it?
My mum's quite musical, and she does like jazz, but it was definitely more musical theatre growing up. Yes, she's a music teacher, so I reckon that's where I've got it from.
Yep.
And Rubina gets all the hard low parts.
Yeah.
So that's why her ears really
She's really good, because she has to do the lower harmonies. They're always harder.
And they're like,
yeah.
They're all the odd
intervals. Always harder.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty short and simple. Sophia, tell me about you.
Well, I guess where do I start?
You're a WA?
Yeah. So I was born in Perth. I've been singing since probably I was like 4 or 5, quite like a long time. It's been a very long time. You were one of those
kids that you shut up.
I was one of those. I was talking to my mum about this the other day, and I was like, "How did I actually get into singing?" And she was telling me, because I used to play violin, and she was telling me how one day I just told her that I wanted to start singing, but I'd never sang in my life. Yeah. And she just kind of brushed it off as like she's just going through a phase. And then
what was not happy that you could just give away the violin, which as a young kid sounds like a strangled cat.
I actually love my violin. I did love my violin. No, I don't. It's a regret of mine, but it's fine.
You've got a much nicer string instrument in your arms right now, I must say.
But yeah, I think one day Mum got like a newsletter in the letterbox that was like giving out singing lessons, and she was like, you know what? She's been asking for a while. We'll just do it. And then, and then I just never stopped, unfortunately. But I didn't start songwriting till like 2019 as well. And that was when I did the songwriting quest. Mr. Goland, again, not forced me, but he encouraged me to apply in 2019.
Another shout out there.
Another shout out. He was a driving force in the band, definitely. Yeah. And that was the first song that I wrote for that quest. Right. And I won that in 2019. Yep. So that started everything for me in terms of songwriting. That was all
the encouragement you needed.
That was all I needed. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me in terms of, like, it opened up so many doors from the quest. Sure. And then Scarlett applied the year after, or 2 years after. Was it last year?
I was going to apply. Oh, they didn't run it.
They didn't run it in 2020. Yeah. And then in 2021, Scarlett applied, and then she won.
You talk about the opportunities it provided for you and stuff like that. Yeah. I guess I want to talk about how music makes you feel and everything in a little while. But do you think that was all you needed to give you the confidence to go, hey, I can do this? And there's always self-doubt, but to push some of that behind you and go, well, gee, I gave it a crack and the world didn't fall apart, and I got some encouragement.
Definitely
was that big for you?
Yeah, that quest was really big because that was the first song I'd ever wrote. So it was kind of like, there's no way that anything's going to happen out of this.
Yeah.
And then when it did, it was like, wait a minute, is this something that I actually am good at? Is this something that I can do, that I can pursue? So it was definitely.
And I don't mean this in a condescending way, but so many young people have that self-doubt and like I often say, you always miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah.
And there's so much to be said for having a crack.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But most of the time, I think sometimes what can come out of having a crack can be amazing. And you're just a classic example of that. And I guess the only thing is you've got to be prepared to put yourself out there that once,
for sure,
and have a go, and I don't know, soak up the positive stuff and leave the negative stuff behind, because there's no shortage of that either. Yeah. So I guess looking at the three of you here as the Stamps, how did the Stamps get its name?
This is a very controversial question. There's a nice happy family answer that we give.
What's the real answer?
The real answer is we were sitting in
no one's listening.
The lab. We were sitting in the lab at school, and we needed a band name for Nan Up. Yeah, we were on the clock for this, and we were going through. I don't remember any of the other ones that we'd come up with, but we had a few before that we had like come up with ideas, and we were like just sitting around in a circle, and we were like, no, that's terrible. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I can't remember. I wish I had
said some psychedelic thing, which is not.
No, did not work. And then one of us I actually don't remember who it was who brought it up, but one of us was like, what about like Stamps or something, like the Stamps? And then we were like, nah. But then we were like, well, we're going to have to keep something.
Yeah.
So we that was supposed to be a tentative name.
Yeah.
But it
I love it now.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
I think
it's cute.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
And my auntie, she goes, like when we play around her, she always like takes the mic away, and she's like, you need to give a good story for why you're called the Stamps. So she's made up a couple pretty good ones.
Like sob stories.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scarlet, I mean, I did send letters to Sophia, and so she was like, you sent letters to Sophia and Rubina, and the stamp of the letter kept you connected. And like, that's why you're called the Stamps. Like a whole thing, but
but that's not the case.
That's a
best of a lie.
Fingers down the throat.
She's probably listening to this.
We love you, Shani. We still love you.
Now tell me, would your old music teacher be listening in, or would he be busy teaching and inspiring other young people?
He might be teaching. I don't know.
We'll have to set this up so he can listen.
Yeah.
He can
definitely.
He can be inspired by your inspiration.
Yeah, he can play it to his kids and be like, see, what happens if you listen to me? People, you'll love me.
So is in terms of the Stamps and what you're doing now and everything, is this something you want to do as a long-term career, or is it great fun for now and you're just going to see where it goes? Or what do you think's the future for the three of you and the Stamps? And
I say that we've just been doing it just for fun, and we're all really good friends now, and just that connection's really great. And I'd say, I don't know, I think we've put the career a bit aside, so then we can enjoy the music.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, I think that we haven't put a lot of pressure on trying to like market ourselves as like a company and a business, and it's more just like, if things don't work out, they don't work out, but we're just going to keep playing like just because we love it.
Yeah, it's just I also think if the Stamps like if we decided we didn't want to play as a band, I think we would definitely still play music together.
Yeah.
Like get together and
because
I think like lives change pretty quickly and dramatically, and so like you never know what will happen, but I think because we had like these very like formative years of playing together and making music together, I don't think it'll ever like go away.
No one can take that away from you, can they?
Yeah, for sure.
So if a group of school kids came to you today, I don't know, 12, 13, what would that be? Year 7?
Year 7,
8, whatever.
Yeah.
And they said to you, we've got a bit of a group together. How do we get the chance to play for an audience? How do you do that? How do we know we're ready to play? And what do we have to do? What would you say to them?
We've actually had people ask us, like kids from school, ask us before, similar questions, and I think one of the main things that we always say is just the first thing. It's kind of what we were talking about before, but you just put yourself out there. You just email as many people as you can. There's so much going on in Perth in terms of music, like the music scene, and also the all ages music scene. Like YMCA HQ is incredible, with putting on shows for all ages. So you just market yourselves, and you record yourself on a voice recording, attach it to an email, say, here, this is our band, blah blah blah, this is about us. We'd love to play if there's a chance. And
I think Perth is a really good spot for music. I just think, especially with COVID and everything, the majority of it stayed quite open. But also, I think I found Perth, it's a very welcoming place because it's smaller and there's not a huge amount of people, and it's not like huge touring international acts come here often. So there's a lot of room and space for local acts to be showcased, which I think is really special and unique. Because I wasn't really in the music scene in Toronto, but it's definitely different because just there's so many people and there's so much talent as well. In Toronto, and there's a lot of talent in Perth as well, but I think it's a smaller,
more intimate.
I'm constantly amazed at the amount of talent.
That's
professional and just out there in the community. And everywhere in between. It is just amazing. So how do you encourage young people to take up music? And like I was saying before, just have a crack, get a group together and have a crack, get a couple of microphones and do that. What's your answer?
Well, I guess one thing is being able to post on things like Facebook and Instagram.
Social media.
Social media is such a big thing in terms of exposure and getting and reaching as many people as possible. And just people can see that you're doing it and say, oh, it's so easy. What's stopping me from posting a video of me singing? It's just so easy to put yourself out there on Instagram.
And the music, just be ready and enjoy it. Is it that simple, or is there a bit more to it? I
mean, we definitely practiced a lot to, and our first stuff wasn't amazing. Definitely not amazing at all.
Oh, really?
It definitely takes, and especially for songwriting, you're going to write a lot of trash songs before you write a mediocre one. But that's why
you and write a really
that's not what I heard before. Your first one was a beauty.
Yeah, but that was
beginner's luck.
The beginner's luck,
it's all downhill from there. Just kidding.
That's
I think just not being afraid to make mistakes is major. Yeah, because you will make mistakes.
Yeah,
I feel so wise.
There's definitely a hurdle that you have to cross. There's something that you have to get through past at the very beginning of this process. And then after that, it'll come so much easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Scarlett, you make a good point there.
What about what?
You've got to be prepared to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing because, you see a lot of people, young people today particularly, are driven by this perfection. And we mentioned social media before and the perfection that's portrayed on social media, but it's all fake.
Yeah,
it's
very
all
true.
Images are photoshopped and all of that sort of stuff. And even in music, we've got auto-tune and all of that sort of stuff. That's I guess right at the beginning when I introduced the Stamps, I talked about your authenticity and your connection to your songs. That's to me that's palpable, and you can feel that. And I guess to move along, do you like playing live? I got that sense.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we love it.
What sort of feeling do you get when you're on stage playing your own music?
It's interesting when you have an audience who reciprocates the atmosphere. You can play. We've played gigs before where the audience is like dead or
dead flat.
and it's just or just not listening, and you feel it doesn't feel great when you're playing.
Yeah.
Even if you try, your hardest, it's never going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But then when you get those gigs that like you can feel the energy, you can see the energy in the air, like it's everyone's buzzing. It's incredible. It's so cool.
It is a feeling in the air, isn't it?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's such a pleasure to be able to play your own music.
Yeah.
Like we do play some covers, but being able to, introduce, this is a song I wrote and this is what it's about. And it I think it's very therapeutic to be able to play your emotions out and kind of like leave them there. Almost like you write the song and you've written the song, so your emotions in that song, and then you play it and it almost makes you introspective and think back on what you felt when you were writing it. But that feeling that you might have felt when you're writing it it's not what you feel. It's just like a memory of the feeling.
Well, you've kind of opened a window to your heart, haven't you?
That was a good explanation.
Thank you.
So a performance retrospective. No, that's fantastic. So you get there's a kind of buzz, you say, from seeing people and feeling people enjoy your creations. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Definitely.
And they are your creations.
Yeah.
As you've progressed to this point, what sort of challenges have you faced? What sort of headwinds? Are there many times your confidence has been knocked down, and what happened? How did you rebuild and keep going?
I guess kind of what we were saying before about when you get those gigs that make you feel a bit bad about yourself. You're like, oh, was it us? Were we the reason that the crowd or the audience wasn't listening? That can be a bit challenging, I'd say.
There's definitely been times in like songwriting that have been challenging.
Yeah.
Like recently.
Like a mental block or something, writer's block.
And like we want to, create new material, and I have nothing left. Like
yeah.
Which is it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's just waiting for inspiration to strike, which is annoying. But
that's a good point.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard to force or write a song on command. It just that doesn't work that way. So that's been hard to like try and keep our repertoire always like updating it, but it's hard to update it when you don't have a lot of material.
So that creative process.
For sure.
Rubina, how do you feel? What have been some of your challenges?
Well, I think one of the performances we did when we lacked in preparation, it didn't go down.
Oh, the old prior preparation story.
That's
you know, which the one extravaganza.
Tell us about that one. You've opened the door here. You've got to walk through.
You didn't have to name drop that one.
No names.
So a bunch of us, part of our group, went down or up to Kalbarri, and it was like the day after, and they were all really tired, and we had to come up with La Vie en Rose and perform it for like the big school's performance.
Yeah, at the end of year.
And it just didn't go down.
It was
so
terrible.
well. And
it was terrible.
Our last performance of
Oh
school.
no!
Yeah.
It was quite sad.
What, it just bombed?
It wasn't
really
very good.
did.
And I mean, it wasn't only us. I think everyone. We just hadn't gotten together early enough to figure it out.
Yeah,
so.
In saying that though, someone did come up to us like a few months ago and were like, "Oh, we saw you play La Vie en Rose. It was really good." And we're like, "Were you at the same concert as us?"
Oh wow!
Don't recall.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was not very
good.
I think they were just being nice.
That's very cool. We're just going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back.
How reliable is your photocopier?
At Coastal Business Equipment, our range of Kyocera photocopiers were awarded the most reliable colour copier MFP brand, producing 1.8 million prints with no breakdowns.
For on-site service that's fast and local, call Coastal Business Equipment on 95820123.
Is your garden looking a bit sad? Don't have time to mow?
KJD Landscaping can help.
With over 20 years' experience, ABN registered and insured, we are the ones to contact.
kjdlandscaping.com.au. Find us on Facebook or 0410 387 426.
Mowing, edging, pruning, mulching, weeding, new lawns and reticulation. We do it all.
kjdlandscaping.com.au. 0410 387 426.
That's 0410 387 426. Or find us on Facebook.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, okay. You're on IPL Radio with Peter this morning, and it's great to have you along. I'm talking with Sophia, Scarlett, and Rabina. They are the Stamps. It's Youth Week here in Perth and Australia, and they have to be the most fantastic Youth Week role models I could imagine. Now, as the Stamps, just over a week ago. Now, it was the 1st of April, and it wasn't an April Fool's joke, was it? Now,
no.
The Stamps, you released your debut single called Something Real. Now, I'm hoping you'll play it here for us today. Are you able to do that?
Yeah.
And but before you do, give us some history about the song and what it's about.
Okay, so I wrote this song, I don't even remember when I wrote it, but it was after kind of losing contact with a friend from Canada. And I was it's sort of reminiscent song of me thinking back on the relationship that we had.
Yep.
And, you know, nothing really bad happened. It's just when you move, you lose contact with people. And so it's kind of a sadder song about how that feels like, and just there's some specifics about like what we did and things. But yeah, I was excited to release it because it was one of the songs I had for a while. And I hadn't really done anything with it. And then when we played it with the Stamps, it felt like it was actually a complete song. Yeah.
It all came together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Where did you record it?
So this was a live recording. So we did it at in Beaconsfield it was a concert that we played, house concert, and it was called Ecoburbia. That's the place where we played it. It's like a little sustainability house kind of thing. They have different houses. And it's run by my auntie and uncle. So we played there just for the kind of summer house concert series things. And we recorded the whole performance. And then we, this is the first one off of the album.
You popped this out as a single.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
After today, people hearing it, how can we get hold of it and hear it again?
Spotify. It's on
Spotify,
Stamps.
iTunes,
yeah,
Apple Music,
YouTube.
all the streaming
all
services.
The usual streaming services.
Yeah, it is.
I picked it up on Spotify, so that's where I heard it first and everything like that. So that's fantastic. So now you're going to play it for us now, is that right? Wonderful. Now who's going to be playing the guitar this time round?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do some jumps and bumps. Actually, if you leave your mic there, we'll shift that one, and Sophia can have my head mic here. So we'll just shift this one over now as we speak. We'll hear some jumps and bumps and all of those sorts of things, but that's okay. And here we go. I'll let the ladies introduce the song for you. So you'll hear some bumps and jumps, and I'll hand my mic over, and away we'll go.
Thank you. Cool. All right. So the song is called Something Real, and if you like it, you can hear it on Spotify and all of the other streaming platforms. So I guess we never made up. Ooh, and the distance between us made the greatest sound. Ooh, and I guess you're living a life that stopped coinciding with mine. But I wanna need you. I wanna raise a toast to something real.
something borrowed, something ordinary, something special. Take my hand and lead me to summer 17, where lights were bright and city nights couldn't stop us. And you were in love with the boy next door and corduroy and taking photos with a Polaroid. But I wanna need you. I wanna raise a toast to something real, something borrowed, something ordinary, something special. To something real, something borrowed, something ordinary, something special. Woo! Thank you.
A few bumps and jumps, and we'll muck around with the microphones. Ladies, that was just amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And something real, and all the usual digital platforms, Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did you say? iTunes,
iTunes,
Apple Music, all of that.
Yeah,
Yada yada yada.
Yada
Yep.
yada.
Yep. So that's brilliant. You are three very talented young women, and I just love your harmonies. You know, I know when I first saw you, I came up and had a chat at the gig up at Wanneroo, and I was sort of gushing about your blend of voices and everything like that. But it is just beautiful. You've been likened in the Triple J Unearthed series or initiative. You were likened to a couple of harmony supergroups, one called Boy Genius and the other called the Staves.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
We
They are cool.
love
I
them.
went
We love
to listen to
them. We
the other
love
day.
them.
They are seriously
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I think especially, I think the Staves were a very big influence when we first started as well. Like we
Right.
did like 3 covers of their songs.
Yeah, we loved them. I think because we were still trying to figure out how to do 3-part harmonies as well. So, or like arrange 3-part harmonies. So, taking inspiration from them was very valuable.
So being able to hear the
Yeah.
progressions
Yeah,
and
how
the
they
harmony
did it.
splits.
Yeah, because there's not many three female voice groups that we
No.
could,
No.
take inspiration from.
Oh, well, you've sort of mucked up my next question about the
Oh.
musicians and the performers that you look up to, but that's all right. There's others. Who
there's
are the
more.
other performers that you look up to, and why? What makes you use them as inspiration?
Well, for me personally, Lizzie McAlpine.
We
She's
love Lizzie
really new.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Yeah, she's kind of quite new, but
Yeah.
we love her. And,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you something cool. Sophia and I and Ravina, we're all going to Europe soon at the end of the year, and Sophia and I are going to see Lizzie McAlpine in Paris.
Paris.
How
We bought the
cool
tickets
is that?
yesterday.
Are you going to try and make contact with her?
That'd
Get
be
onto her website.
I have
and say,
no idea how
go
that
and
would work out.
Well,
Put
Paris
ourselves out.
Social,
Put ourselves
out.
out there. We could put
Drop
ourselves out
notes
there.
saying
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the audience. And
You
go.
just
It's worth
told
it.
me. You just told me what you would tell a
Yeah, that's
12-year-old,
true.
group of saying, How would you
That's
do
true.
it? Get on social media, say, we're a group from Australia, this is us, listen to us, and we're going to come and see you, and we expect an audience. Thank you very much.
That would be pretty cool.
But she's amazing.
Yeah, we
that
love
would be
her.
cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I like Phoebe Bridgers as well. She's kind of like similar, in a similar vein. She's pretty cool. Joni Mitchell, yeah.
Yes, yep.
I like Jensen McRae a lot.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
And also Lizzie McAlpine as well.
Yeah,
Sophia and Scarlett hooked me up on her. She's amazing.
Have you ever been likened a bit to Stella Donnelly? And a bit
we
of a sound there?
We haven't, but Stella Donnelly is definitely a local influence.
Yeah. And it's going back a few years now, but I know when I first heard you live, it reminded me of another young female performer, would have been the 90s, I guess, so called Frente. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
She's got that, I guess, voices similar to yours and that soft breathiness, you know. So you'll have to go and look her up. But so have you got any gigs coming up, and you know, where can people see and hear you live?
We're playing at the Bird on the 30th of May.
Now, where's the Bird?
The Bird is in the city in Perth. I think actually might be Northbridge. I think it's right on the border.
So it's in the CBD.
Yeah, it's in the CBD. Yeah, that's on the 30th of May. We've had a few others, but unfortunately they've been cancelled, which is a shame.
The old COVID restrictions.
Yeah, and they haven't been rescheduled just yet.
So that's impacted your live performing, but then you managed to record a concert live, and you pulled a single out of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah. But I guess it's given us an opportunity to focus on like recording as well now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So I guess in terms of future, looking at recording and...
Well, we have a few recordings that we've done recently that we're looking to release sometime this year. So that's that's probably what we're going to try and focus on this year, releasing music.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question for each of you individually, and if you could step into a time machine and take yourself back to when you were 12 years old, and could get into a conversation with your 12-year-old self, what would you say to her? Rabina, let's go first with you this time. What would you say to a 12-year-old you?
Well, I was definitely a very shy kid, so I'd definitely say that just get myself out there again, be confident, perform a lot because I didn't perform as much back then, take all the opportunities that I was given. That's about it, I'd say.
Sage advice.
Yeah.
Sophia?
I'm just trying to think what I was like when I was 12. Probably I never really thought that I could write songs. Like that wasn't anything that I'd ever considered at all.
Yeah.
So I'd probably tell myself, just try it. You never know.
Yeah.
Even if it's terrible, I think I did try writing songs when I was 12 and they were terrible. Just keep going. You got to write some bad ones to get some mediocre ones. So that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. What about you, Scarlett? What would you tell a 12-year-old you?
It's hard to think about that. I think as a 12-year-old, and still probably there's bits of that in me now, like it was difficult to, like, I think I cared quite a bit about how other people perceived me. And I think what I would tell myself is that you can't change the way people feel about you. You know, like you just have to be as authentic and true to yourself. And you're going to, like, complications happen, you know? Like, things happen and you just have to let it kind of wash over you and influence the way you are. But don't let it stop you from being yourself, kind of thing. Which sounds like really broad, but I was just thinking about it because, like, I remember when I was 12, like, year 7, like, I was just finishing primary school and I was just going in to, like, middle school.
Yeah.
And it was, like a very weird time of the life, you know? Like, everyone is I feel like middle school, everyone is very focused on image and how other people think of them.
Yeah.
So I think I would tell myself not to do that. But I think I wouldn't be able to say that to a 12-year-old now because they'd probably be like, no, you don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I figure coming from you at 18 is probably a lot better than coming from me at much older than that. To a 12-year-old, you've probably got a lot more cred.
Street cred. We got the street cred.
Well, you know, today just with your beautiful music, you've certainly got the street cred. There's some really interesting points there, but to me it seems all about as a young person, self-belief and persisting and not listening so much to the detractors and understand that you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And to embrace those and move on. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Geez, we can all use that. I'm 58, we can still use all of that. So look, that's certainly sage advice. And if there are young people listening this morning, you've certainly got 3 wonderful role models here and some beautiful advice there. Ladies, to take us out this morning, we'd love you to play another song. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what have you got up your sleeve for us? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So we're going to play Handle It Better, which this one has kind of a funny story. I wrote this one after a really bad math class, and I was crying. It was like the end of year 12 or the beginning of year 12. So everything was getting quite intense, and I was just sobbing about math. And I went home to my mum, and I was just like inconsolable kind of thing. And she kind of sat me down, and she was just like, you're freaking out, and you just need to like calm down. And the only person that you're hurting by freaking out is yourself. Like you're detrimenting yourself by you know, making it such a big deal. So I thought that was pretty good advice. So I wrote a song about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep,
Oh, that sounds good. Now, who's on guitar this time?
We've got 2.
You've got 2 guitars. Well, that's going to be interesting.
We don't have. We doesn't.
We'll work that out as we go. So hang on, a few more jumps and bumps and all of that sort of stuff. I might just put that in between you because I can adjust the levels. That's okay. And I'll hand over, and one of the 3 can do a bit of an intro.
Thank you. All right, this song is called Handle It Better. Handle it with grace. Nobody hurts but you. Listen to your mother. Listen to your friends. Nobody hurts but you. Crashing down from the sky, you were leading the way, and advice is bleeding from their mouths, but you take it day by day. So you stare to your amazement to see your hair hasn't fallen out quite yet. That you're a living, breathing person. Though it's been weeks since you really felt like it. Crashing down
from the sky. You were leading the way, and advice is bleeding from their mouths, but you take it day by day. Slow down, take your time, bring that energy and throw it out the window. It's all worth it in the end. Breathe in, breathe out. I know you're hoping for the time we stop trying. It's all worth it in the end. Handle it better, handle it with grace. Nobody hurts but you. Thank you.
There we are back again. Handle It Better from the Stamps.
Thank you.
Now, thank you to Scarlett, Sophia and Rubina.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
They are the Stamps. I think, in my view, they really sum up the essence of Youth Week and the talent and the capability that we all have around us in plain sight. It's been great to have you on the show today, and I know I'll be at another of your performances in the near future.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic. Look, is there anyone you want to do a special shout out today for? I know, Scarlett, I know your dad's listening today. Rob, how are you?
The whole family, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I think Mum's at work.
I think my mum's at work.
And
you know what? Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to the listeners.
Who was your music teacher again?
Oh, Mr. Goland.
Mr. Goland.
Yep, if you're listening.
What a great job you've done.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of others lots of other young talented people that you've encouraged along the way, and I just hope you get a buzz out of that. Thank you, ladies. You're welcome to hang around and co-host and keep chatting and all of that sort of stuff. But we've got some great music lined up, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And all I'll say now is thank you for the music, ladies.